Across your Minecraft world, you've come across various structures, and if you're looking to expand the influence of your Minecraft empire, you can craft new projects to improve these structures. Let's start easy. One of the best ways to improve these structures is to make them accessible. Consider strongholds in your Minecraft world, which have a spiral staircase that rarely, if ever, is exposed to the surface. Well, maybe not so much ever, but you're going to have to be searching for very specific worlds if you want those kind of strongholds. So let's just say most of your strongholds are buried. Well, getting down there becomes a lot easier if you're willing to invest in bringing that spiral staircase all the way up or making some sort of other unique entrance to your stronghold. And it also makes me think of a Captain Sparkle's music video. Perhaps a castle over top your stronghold is something else you might consider for practical purpose, but also potentially for some lore reasons. And you may also want to do the same for your trial chambers if it's convenient enough. For example, in Redbird, I happen to have a stronghold and a trial chamber that are right next to each other, so it was really easy to make sure that they were connected to the above desert temple. But whatever you are doing with the structures in your world, whether it be these two, the major stronghold of my world, I have also improved so that it's more than just, like lighting it up and making sure it's connected. I gave it a full renovation. You might know that strongholds have terrible generation when it comes to how they place walls, how they generate pretty much at all. So, one of the easiest ways to fix your stronghold is to just close up some rooms that you aren't going to use or close up odd hallways that don't make any sense. And you can make it so that it's really easy to find a path to the portal room for wherever you might be in the stronghold. Because there's a really good chance if your stronghold is really low in the world, which mine is, that you might have some slime chunks that are readily accessible. So maybe there's some big rooms in your stronghold that are basically just slime training rooms. But otherwise, if you improve your stronghold, I think there's a good chance it's going to be a lot more useful to you than just being the place you go to beat the Ender Dragon or get to the end. And I also like to think about those libraries that generate with your strongholds. I don't know if they're actually guaranteed to generate. I'll have to look at that, but I know for at least some of the strongholds in my world, there's either one, but I know my major stronghold has two libraries, and they really make me think of a level from Drawn to Life the Next Chapter, which is a DS game. If you've ever played that, I don't know why. It just makes me think of it. And there was a level in that game called The Forgotten Library, and I always like to think about that for my Minecraft world because obviously these strongholds have libraries, so they must be full of books. But what are those books containing, and who wrote them? And who built the stronghold? I mean, there's just so many questions that you get a chance to answer by just incorporating these structures. And maybe you leave them vague, or maybe you give them some real dense lore, but that's just an opportunity for you using these structures. And I wanted to move on to villages, even though they are something we've discussed a lot in the past, so I don't want to spend too much time on them. But you don't have to preserve villages in the way that I do. Maybe you don't do that at all, actually. I know in the past that people have been raising villages, but maybe don't do that. But you might be improving villages in a different way. Maybe you build cities with skyscrapers. I know I did that in the past when I played maybe more creative worlds with some of my friends when I was like 13, I suppose. But you might still be doing that, and there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, Minecraft's a purely creative game, and I mean, if you have a massive city and you actually fill it with villagers, I mean, you've got access to hundreds of potential librarians or whatever kind of workers you might need for your Minecraft world. So a city is not actually a bad thing, but maybe you don't want a city. Maybe you want a suburb. So you could recreate your own suburban neighborhood in Minecraft and have villagers kind of stand in as like your neighbors. And I think this is where Minecraft really is like the best because you don't have to use villagers exclusively for the purpose that they, have in the game. You can use them as kind of like Lego minifigures representing people to populate your communities. Because I know a lot of people build villages across their Minecraft world that maybe aren't necessarily inhabited directly by villagers, but it might be worth considering adding villages to the villagers to your community so that they feel a little bit more lived in, like Lego minifigures. I mean, you wouldn't have a Lego city set and then, not fill it with any Lego. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. You want some minifigures around. So Something worth considering, your villages don't have to be fixed up just like me. You can totally transform them if you want and make them something that is uniquely yours. But moving on from villages, lastly, you should consider structures that you visit and then never really come back to. So you might know these structures as like your desert temples or your jungle temple that you just come to, you loot, and then you never come back to, because truthfully, they don't actually provide any real value beyond that. But you might want to convert these places into more useful locations that you come to, because, well, I mean, the jungle temple is just really interesting. It's one of the few structures in Minecraft that generates with redstone in it in some capacity. So it's a way to introduce you to redstone. So maybe you make that jungle temple a lot more redstone oriented. Maybe you haven't had a chance to explore redstone in your world that much. I know personally I haven't. So I think when I go to a jungle temple next time, I'll be improving it with a lot of redstone and giving myself a chance to really explore redstone in a way that I haven't gotten a chance to. And for your desert temples, you probably just go down into the bottom shaft to loot everything that you can. And that's pretty reasonable, because after I guess you could go back for the archaeology, but I know a lot of people don't really care for that mechanic, so maybe you just loot your desert temple. But see, a desert temple is actually really easy to convert into a sort of base. So if you're looking for multiple bases across your Minecraft world, maybe you just have one, but you'd like to spread out, you could really easily convert a desert temple into a base, and voila, you've turned a base that you looted, or you've turned a place that you've looted once into a permanent base that you can come back to with really minor modifications. And of course, maybe you don't want to turn it into a base, but if you do have a desert empire, a lot of pyramids around your world that you can easily light up is just making your empire a lot bigger without really having to do any real work. And also, it means that your desert empire simply just has a lot of rulers and a lot of tombs for those rulers. So maybe all those structures across your world you can really easily incorporate without actually having to do anything at all. So across your Minecraft world, you probably have a lot of structures that you either want to do something with, you've looted before, or maybe they're just something a little bit more interesting than anything else you've done in your world, and you want an opportunity to do something unique. Maybe it's a jungle temple with redstone, maybe you have a stronghold in your world that you've gone to a lot, maybe you visit the end a lot actually, you've built a lot of structures in the end, so why don't you make the path to the end a little bit more nice, a little more interesting, a little bit more accessible. And I think that if you do these things across your Minecraft world, I think you'll find that a lot of the structures that you need to go to for accessing the game's content, you can easily access much, much better. And so that means that your Minecraft world is just more connected. You can think of all these different locations, and potentially if you're looking for more projects in the future, you don't have to go looking anywhere. You can just go to things that you've already discovered.